A patriarchy is a society in which the qualities and characteristics stereotypically associated with dominant masculinity carry highest status, value, and power. Who decides what patriarchy is? What drives it? Patriarchy is rooted in the natural order of things. It reflects essential differences between women and men based on biology. Male privilege is fiction with power, driven by the idea that society gives certain unearned advantages on men simply because they are male. We allow men to get away with things under the premise that boys will be boys. According to Michael Kimmel, homophobia is a central organizing principle around our cultural definition of manhood. It is the fear that other men will unmask us, emasculate us, reveal to us and the world that we do not measure up, that we are not real men. He defines masculinity as a homosocial enactment. It is full of danger, the risk of failure, and intense, relentless competition. The sexist society that maintains male privilege also does great harm to boys and men. So, why is it that so many men and women participate willingly in their own oppression? Connell, Australian sociologist, seeks to explain how some men succeed in making it appear normal to enjoy power over other men and most women. She posits 4 types of masculinities, more as positions in relation to one another than as personality types.
Hegemonic masculinity. Toxic hegemonic ideals encompassed by its big ordeals. Upheld by society dictating how boys and men are expected to speak, think, and feel. We look at it as non-harmonic, but luckily we have a tonic. Taken in doses of recognizing male privilege and the harm of the patriarchy to heal all the wounds inflicted on society from discrimination and misogyny.
Complicit masculinity. No one stands up or opposes what is toxic. One can be a bit complicit. We don't challenge it, we laugh at it. We feel like we don't fit, but the word in itself is explicit. We are all partners in crime. That's why it seems fine allowing the cycle of toxicity to continue in the meantime. But now it's up for us to shift that patriarchy paradigm.
Marginalized masculinity. A man of disability cannot access this luxury to represent hypermasculinity. For sometimes we feel the need for a disguise. It's even worse for us that are marginalized because we don't subscribe to the values that are idolized. In the Caribbean, the texture of our hair and complexion arises much suspicion, as color and the notions of ideal masculinity becomes the foundation. For marginalization, we're discriminated against, and that makes our lives rough. So who can we turn to when things get tough?
Subordinate masculinity. The LGBT community aren't given the opportunity to express their sexuality and gender identity. We are even more oppressed when our feelings cannot be openly expressed. Showing emotions is weak, so we are seen as meek. This is my masculine identity. I don't conform to rules of toxic patriarchy.
It's like walking down Miguel Street with preconceived notions of masculinity, hiding men's fragility behind misogyny, going down the pathway of patriarchy. Dominant ideals of manhood are born, as toxic ideals become a norm.
Pro-feminist men, such as Michael Flood, believe that we each share the responsibility of trying to change our own sexist behaviors and attitudes of other men. It's important to emphasize that men have a vital role to play in the transformation of gender relations.
I believe just because I was a man that I was more valuable than the women in my life. Because why? Because everybody said that.
If you are very confident about your sexuality, you don't have to have 8 women around you twerking.
But where I come from, I would tell you masculinity is in your genes. Geans. It is a social ideal you have to fit into.
By taking up gender justice as a personal commitment and a political goal, by living our lives in ways that make a difference, and through accountability to help ourselves and to change the world.